Born and bred in Tuscaloosa, not raised in Baton Rouge. Didn't ride no wagon train to Norman or to Boone. They said I'd never make it, just a name they overlook. Now I'm burning up their game plans and ripping up their books. No 5-star shine, no silver spoon. I came up grinding on a Friday night moves. Now they feel me coming like a 4th down blitz. Got 'em talking sideways, throwing fits. But I must admit, I can't quit. 'Cause I'm the outlaw of college football. Ain't no stripes can hold me back. I don't need their legacy or no booster money stack. I don't bow to no tradition. Ain't no handshake deals I need. I just play for pride, for fire, and the will to make 'em bleed. I ain't on your media darlings list. No Heisman hype, no clean-cut script. But every time that whistle blows, I leave my soul out on that road. They talk about dynasties and brands, but I built mine with my own hands. Ain't got no statue, no parade, just broken dreams and lines I've laid. I'm the outlaw of college football, the storm they never saw.
Go ahead and cut it short tonight so we can get right to it, but it's the storm they never saw. That says it all right there in the song itself. The NFL and Roger Goodell and all them mugs, man, out there, it's like they didn't see it coming, but everybody could see it coming. It came, and they had this show. They had the Kid Rock halftime show. They all laughed about it, made fun of it, all the liberals. And now some stats that came out and some numbers that came in, and it looks like Kid Rock's his song on that halftime show has actually surpassed Bad Bunny's song on the music charts, basically blowing it away with 25 million plus more hits than Bad Bunny. And I can bring that up right now in just a second for y'all. It's a little something about, here it is right there. I'm going to go ahead and play that, or you can go ahead and give me that spiel that you was giving me earlier about Great Britain and stuff.
Well, you know, there is a I'm just gonna say it. I don't care, man. This is part of the problem, is that we're afraid to speak the truth. You know, it's really a problem. I got no reason. I'm not. You know. But the halftime show, you know, what was the point? You know, what was the point? I mean, I think a lot of people were really at the core asking it. You saw all of the players. Nobody knew who the guy was. I'm not doubting whether this guy is a star internationally. He may very well be. I think he is. But he's not a star in the United States. The football fans by large didn't know who the heck he was, and neither did the players on the field. And I'm pretty damn sure Roger Goodell never heard about him until Jay-Z and Rock Nation set him up to be the halftime show.
Didn't you say something about a shaming ritual?
Well, it's a humiliation ritual, man. It's basically throwing it in your face that this is not your country anymore. And this immigration is happening whether you like it or not. And I just don't know if people really understand that. You go look at places like Great Britain and the UK, it's a foreshadowing, man, because what's happening here has been going on there for longer, and they completely just allowed it to happen. This Muslim takeover in Great Britain, they are now the minority. That country doesn't represent what British people grew up recognizing, and the same thing will happen here. It's all fun and cute right now when it's about virtue signaling. And you're sitting in your wealthy houses and you know all these elite liberal, you know, mainly white females that are pushing this stuff. People like Jennifer Welsh, and you know, and when the tables turn and the balance tips, it's not going to represent this country you think you know, or this country, this diverse country you think you're fighting for. There's going to be no place for you in it. That's what's happening it's happening all over the world. The natives of a country are not becoming the natives anymore.
Here's the thing, man. Before I play this,
let me just say this for anyone that's watching. I don't care about the color of your skin. I don't care what you want. I'm a live and let live kind of person, man. That is not the point that I'm trying to make. But what I'm trying to make is this country was built on immigrants, but the immigration of old, the immigration that brought my family here when my grandparents came here, they came here to assimilate to what was the American dream and the American culture. They didn't come here because they secretly hated the place and had an agenda to just turn it into their house. You came here as an immigrant and you assimilated into the American culture because we were the best damn country in the world, and there was a reason for it. It's the same thing of these damn liberals that are migrating from California because it's so miserable to live in the place that they voted for, and now they're migrating to go to places where it's more reasonable to live, and they're bringing their damn politics with them. You live in a place because you hate the way it is, and then you go into a place and you want it to be the way it was where you left.
Yeah, it don't make much sense. And you said something about the Muslim takeover in Britain. And here's what these virtue signaling people out there, these liberal spastics, don't understand: is the Muslims will play nice to get where they want to be, and then when they get to where they want to be, these Muslims hate you more than we do. They're going to take you and they're going to execute you. That's what they do to homosexuals over in them countries. That's what they do to people that try to say they're transgender or want to have freedom of speech. They kill you. But at least we let you talk about it. They're not going to let you talk about it. If they take over, they're just going to start killing all of you, man.
Yeah, so, dude. We're not protecting our what we have, you know? I mean, it's the same thing with like, as a United States citizen, go try to buy property in China. It's not going to happen. They're not going to allow you to own property in China as a United States citizen. We let foreign nationals buy property all the time in this country.
That just makes no sense whatsoever. That's like you inviting a rapist into your house with your wife and leaving her there by herself.
Well, man, at a certain point, it's about being smart. You know, like you being an idealist it ain't gonna help you when you got, you know, evil staring down you. And that's the thing, man. Like there's a whether people want to admit it or not. And I'm not a super religious guy. I feel like maybe I should be more religious. You know, I openly admit that because I do believe, man, there's a spiritual battle going on in this world right now. And it's good versus evil, dude, straight up. Like it is, because what's happening all around us is it ain't just political.
Well, before I get to this clip of Kid Rock, Big Kev said there was a deadly shooting at South Carolina State University today. I haven't heard anything about that. I'll look it up in a second, but I haven't heard anything. Maybe you can look it up, Killer. I don't know. But I'm going to go ahead and play this clip by Kid Rock if it's okay with you, Killer.
Yeah.
Just making sure you're through your thoughts.
Yeah.
All right.
I'd be remiss in not asking you, what'd you think of Bad Bunny? I know you didn't see all of it, but you saw some clips.
Like most people, I didn't understand any of it.
Nothing says America like Kid Rock. If by America you mean the MAGA resistance to what Bad Bunny represents. And people came for it. Estimates are coming in. Why? Because they streamed it from multiple platforms. So there are a lot of numbers, but they're big, okay? It could be as high as 25 million, maybe more.
Since his performance, Kid Rock's cover skyrocketing to the top of the iTunes charts, topping Bad Bunny's DTMF in the original version of Till I Can't is number 3.
Like it's dropped to the channel.
And that was from Officer Tatum. I'm going to fast forward through this video to a certain point in it because I want you to hear something else too, and unless you got something to add to what you just saw.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
All right.
We're going to show you 13 mind-blowing
First, I
use
have to go
cases
through a
for creators
stupid-ass
using the
commercial.
new AI Workspace 2.0 from Gen Z.
Hey, all right.
documentary style video of what has happened and how the left has completely used entertainment and music to weaponize against conservatism. And you mentioned it. You watched Bad Bunny on the halftime show or whatever it was that you were watching. But I'm telling you, it's happening right now. And you know, it's sad to see a great thing like the NFL go a bit woke on us and try to, bring that kind of junk into television. It's a shame when you look at some of the past performers that have played the halftime show. We should probably have stuck with something a little closer to home, don't you think? I mean, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And you guys helped in sponsorship to a certain degree to make that happen. Can you talk to us a little bit more about that? And I want you to talk.
So what do you think about that? Do you think that, I mean, that's something that to me is pretty obvious that they've been weaponizing entertainment to force us to do things.
Well, it's absolutely what's going on, man. And listen, you got to give them credit. It works. There's a reason why they continue to do it. It's worked for a long time. I do believe though that I think the events that took place, in and around 2020 really woke a lot of people up. And a lot of people look at things differently now than they did before. Unfortunately, if there was any innocence left after, JFK, if there was any innocence left in this country, it certainly was gone after 2020.
It's all been gone for a while. We just didn't know it. Social media just pulled the curtain back.
Well, but I think 2020 drove the nail in the coffin. The lies about COVID.
Oh, did you hear what they found in Georgia? They found a bunch of fake ballots and all sorts of stuff where they doctored the ballot box in 2020.
Is that real?
Yeah.
Really?
I saw it on Fox News today. I forgot to bring that up, but yeah. But here's the thing, man, that gets me about this. This is all stuff we probably knew anyway. The thing that gets me about it is they come out with all this stuff. We got them. We called them, blah, blah, blah. And then they never do nothing to them. Yeah. That includes the Republicans. Republicans and Democrats, neither one, they don't do anything to each other when they catch each other doing something criminal. They just tattle on each other and hope it'll get them a seat. And then they just push it under the rug.
That's because they're not different parties, man. That's a lie. That's all up front. That's the way they just divvy us up against each other. Is if you notice, ultimately, both parties are just a little bit slightly different means that get us always to the same place. It's always the same thing. It's just role reversal, and this whole party illusion thing, making you think that exists. It really doesn't. It just keeps us fighting. And the more we fight focused on one another, the less we're looking up above at the people that are above us, leading us, in charge of us, and literally robbing us blind to our face, man. I mean, dude, I cannot tell you how angry it makes me that my health insurance just went up from $622 a month to $835 a month. They act like I just have an extra $200. And what is my alternative? To just not have health insurance? You know what I'm saying? But the reality is, I know one thing for sure. My health insurance certainly is never going to go down. So it's at $800 now. It's only going to go up. So
right.
How long is it going to be before I'm supposed to be paying over $1,000 effing dollars for a month of effing? And by the way, my health insurance sucks, man.
You know what you can
do?
do?
Obamacare shit.
You know what you can do? Just stop paying for it and go to the emergency room like these illegals do and get free health care. That's what they do. People's like, y'all misleading. They don't get free health care. They don't get free health care card. No, they just go to the emergency room and never pay the hospital. That's how they're getting free health care.
You're right. That is definitely true.
But Thunder U Center says the Bad Bunny show had some nasty language, and that is true. I've seen some scripts of what he said. It was talking about putting a DICK in the ass. I mean, just Pussy, translated into English, all up in the lyrics, and they want to claim that it's wholesome, like Jack Burton alludes to right here. These purple-haired fake liberals are preaching how wholesome the Bad Bunny show was, and it had a bunch of cussing in it, like Thundro You Sooner said. And like Fred says here, why isn't the FCC trying to find these guys? Ain't that against the FCC regulations for mainstream TV?
Well, I mean, man, they had two dudes bumping uglies, you know, on national TV. It's just like, and again, man, I just don't like what I don't think what the other side doesn't understand is my biggest objection is that they can't just live the life they want to live. They got to force everyone else to go along with it. That's the part I don't get, man. I don't understand it. I don't understand why it's not just okay for me to be okay with you wanting to call yourself a rabbit. Like, fine, you want to live like a fucking rabbit and eat lettuce all day long? Good man, knock yourself out. But don't make me say that you're a rabbit and vote on laws to protect the fucking rabbits. I'm just like, just go be a goddamn rabbit. You know? It's not that difficult. Yeah. So why do we all?
You being a rabbit's fine, as long as you don't affect me.
Dude, I was reading an article the other day, and it was about some you know, trans person, you know, and it said their name. It was like such and such and such, and then it said they're so and so. It went from the singular to the plural. And I couldn't figure out. I'm like, well, wait, who are they talking about? It was like, who's the other person here? And it took me a minute to realize, oh, that's their pronoun. They're using their here because that's what they go by. They, them, they're, you know.
Yeah, because in high school, you're taught that those are pronouns. That they're not pronouns, but they're just like plural.
Right. So why do I have
more than one person?
Why do I have to speak in broken English just to make you feel good about the fact that you want to I mean, it's ridiculous, man. Like, this is the United States of America. This is not, you are not supposed to be forced into anything. And I am Sooners. That's what I was, that's exactly what it, that's what I come down to, man. It's amazing. Like, I grew up a devout Catholic. I was raised Catholic. I went to church all the time. I was an altar boy. I was in the retreat team and as a youth, you know, member and all that stuff. But then as I came into adulthood, I kind of got disenchanted. All the child abuse stuff in the Catholic Church really bothered me, and I fell away from it.
Let me tell you something. That's not just the Catholic Church either.
No, it's not. But so did a lot of people. If you look at the numbers, for many years, this country was getting less and less involved in church, you know? And man, I got to be honest with you. When I look around at the country and I see a lot of the problems we have today, I'm saying we all need to be going back to church, you know, because we sure did seem like a better place to live when everybody on Sunday got along.
When I go to church, the one I've been going to Martin Houston's church. Used to be a fullback here at Alabama. And when you go in there, man, it's just like you come out feeling better. And I'm not just saying that. That's not me just doing coach speak here or trying to make a moral statement, but I genuinely just feel better.
I don't disagree with that, man. I went to church recently with my mom and yeah, it just feels better. But that's my point. It's that because everyone in there, you realize that everyone in there is coming there because they all believe ultimately in treating people better. And I'm not trying to say that everyone in church is an angel. They're not. You know, that's been clearly proven over the years in every religion out there. There's always going to be bad apples. But
Darth Iskandis has his badge. He's deputized. He says, I believe this is all a spiritual war for real. Something feels different about what is going on in the world today. Yeah, when we had our controversies in the 80s and 90s, but it wasn't nothing like this. And you could actually have a cordial debate with a Democrat and a Republican. And I used to be a Democrat.
Did it all the time.
That's not why I'm a Democrat anymore, because it's not the Democratic Party. It's just some party that's been hijacked. I don't even know if you can call them liberals. Like you said, it's just evil. It's like they make it easy to vote for Republicans because
Well-
these Republicans ain't coming out saying stupid shit all the time. If you don't want us voting for Republicans, then quit doing stupid shit.
Again, man, what's going on in this country, what's going on in Canada, what's going on in Britain, and basically it's all of Western civilization. There's a movement, a worldwide movement, and that's why I'm saying it's a spiritual, it's a good versus evil thing that's looking to tear down Western civilization. And man, at the bedrock foundation of Western civilization is Christianity. That's what it is, man. It's belief in God and doing unto others as you want, for them to do unto you. That's what it's all. That's what Western civilization is largely built upon. Is ultimately treating each other right, and we're not doing that anymore, man. Like we've become so this especially with social media, everything's become so self-absorbed that empathy is at an all-time low, compassion at an all-time low. People just don't care. It's about themselves and they don't care about anybody else. That's how you sit as a corporate executive and you okay your company while you're making record profits. You do it on the back of charging people like me $800 a month. That's how you get to that point, because you're evil at that point. You don't care about the people that your company serves. It's a lie. It's just about making the very top 1% of the top 1%, forever wealthy. 100 millionaires after 100 millionaire after 100 millionaire. While people like me and you have real fear on a fairly regular basis about where we're going to have the money to live, in whatever way, like to pay this bill, or I gotta get a new car. How the F am I going to pay for it? That shit is real.
You want
But we got a growing dichotomy in this country of the haves versus the have-nots. So it's this weird thing where for a very few, this world that I'm talking about, what world is that? They don't know. They live in the world of fucking Starbucks all day and DoorDash all day, going to, paying $30 for a meal from McDonald's because you want it delivered to you. They live in that world because that's fine. They got the money that doesn't matter. Paying $800 a month, that's how they can sit up on high. These people like Jennifer Welch, rich white liberal, sitting on high, saying people like me and you, are racist. If we want to, God forbid, preserve some of the culture we grew up with too, can we at least have ours too?
Exactly. But you want to see something personified as, biting the hand that feeds it, or chopping off your nose in spite of your face kind of deal. I want to check old Zach Bryan out for a second. He's a country singer, and I don't understand some of these country singers. I mean, I don't get why you would say some of the stuff you're saying. If you look at the Dixie Chicks and see what happened to them, I would just keep it to yourself, man, if you want to keep your career in country music. If you don't, if you want to try to go mainstream like Taylor Swift, by all means, go for it. But to be in the country genre, man, I don't know if you can say stuff like this and expect to be a success.
And why this is happening, you have to remember the context from Sunday. Zach Bryan lit a fuse when he publicly mocked Turning Point USA's alternative halftime show. The show featured Kid Rock, Lee Brice, and Brantley Gilbert. Bryan called the event embarrassing as hell and cringe, which triggered a massive backlash from fans, some calling him a sellout. But instead of laying low, Bryan just took a very specific shot that seems directed squarely at one of the headliners of that event, Brantley Gilbert. Early this week, Bryan teamed up with Harley Carmichael to post a parody video of Jason Aldean's massive 2010 hit, Dirt Road Anthem. Now, why does that matter? Because the song was co-written by Brantley Gilbert. It's one of the songs that put Gilbert on the map as a songwriter. Bryan didn't sing the original lyrics, though. He turned the country rap anthem into an ode to chili dogs. He captioned it, "Concept album in the works," and the hilarious video features Bryan playing acoustic guitar while they swap out verses about dirt roads for verses about Chicago-style hot dogs and chili sauce.
Chili on a hot dog, I'm double fisting chili on a hot dog.
Get yourself a couple dollars in the truck, load them on cheese and fill them up.
On the surface, it looks like a harmless joke, but given that Gilbert was one of the main stars of the event Brian just trashed, the timing is impossible to ignore. Brantley Gilbert clearly didn't ignore it. Yesterday, he fired back, posting a video on his own Instagram, holding up 2 hot dogs and aggressively piling them high with chili sauce. He stared down the camera and included a caption that was a direct message to Zach Bryan. He wrote, "Zach Lane Bryan, you can climb all the fences you want. You're not getting my chili dog." The comment about climbing fences stems from that previous incident with Zach Bryan climbing the fence to go after Gavin Adcock in their heated feud.
He can climb all the fences he wants. He's not getting my chili dog.
Country star Chase Rice jumped in the comments section and poured gas on the fire, writing, "Get your brass knuckles ready." Another commenter added, "I want to see Zach Bryan climb a fence to try to fight Brantley Gilbert." So we have 2 stars who represent very different corners of the genre right now. You have Brantley Gilbert headlining a patriotic, conservative alternative to the Super Bowl, and you have Zach Bryan, who called that very same event a temper tantrum and is now parodying Gilbert's biggest songwriting hit. We want to hear from you. Let me know what
do you think about that? Makes me just want to slap the dude. I'm like, dude, you're very ungrateful. I mean, a lot of the people that probably bought your albums didn't know you was a complete and utter liberal, spastic douche nozzle. But now they do, you dumbass. And they're not going to buy you shit anymore. And if I got any of his freaking songs on my damn Spotify, I'm going to delete them mugs. I'm just damn, man. I mean, there's certain things that are deal breakers. Yes, you might have a good voice, but your good voice does not trump the well-being and welfare of our country, moron.
But dude, the thing is, there's a good chance that he doesn't even really believe in all this stuff. He's just saying it because it makes him more popular within the tribe. It gets him more clout. It gets him invited to more parties. I mean, there is a social and financial reward in his world for towing the line. And, you know, so there's a good chance he doesn't believe it, and he's that big of a vulva, you know? And if he does really believe it, it's just again, I don't get it. I mean, again, man, like, you got to have real hate for your country and your fellow citizens to do the things they do and say the things they say and act the way they act, you know?
Talking about McDonald's delivery. Looking back at y'all's comments, I saw something on McDonald's Day, man. They was talking again about that crap. Me and you might have talked about this before, but they brag about how many patties they sell, and there's not enough cows in the world to make that many patties. So where are they getting the ground beef?
I think there's plenty of ground beef, dude. I think there's plenty. There's more than you probably than they probably even know about.
It's not real ground beef. They're probably it's some kind of synthetic shit they're putting on it so it tastes like ground beef.
It might be. It very well might be. I don't put anything past corporate America now. You know, people. That's another thing. We got a real Wall Street problem. You know, where all these companies. First of all, private equity is ruining everything because private equity is buying up every small business in every industry across America. They're liquidating the ones they can liquidate for the assets. They're basically just turning whatever business that you're used to doing business with just gets worse and worse in terms of what you get, and the cost of it gets higher and higher. You notice that going on with all the people you pay money to? Yeah, that's because look into it. The company you're paying that money to, where the price just keeps going up and the service just keeps getting worse, that they're owned by private equity now. And they're all following this BS model of showing continual growth quarter after quarter, year after year. It's unrealistic. It's not how anything goes in the real world. Nothing just goes straight up. It doesn't happen. So why does Wall Street think it's, and why does then that's the pressure all these businesses put on their employees to constantly, and that's how, you know, fraud starts to happen from just greed and pressure to make numbers that aren't realistic. We got a real problem.
And before we get those people on here that say they hate our show talking about politics, the only reason we're talking politics is because they drug the politics into the sports with the Super Bowl halftime show, which is what? Football, right? Okay. Yeah. And right here, this is another example. US skier talks shit about the American flag and how he was like he's sort of ashamed of representing the United States in the Olympics. So I'm gonna go ahead and play that real quick.
Yeah.
And U.S. Olympic skier Hunter Hess is facing backlash for these comments about representing America in the 2026 Winter Olympics.
It brings up mixed emotions to represent the U.S. right now. I think for me, it's more I'm representing my friends and family back home, the people that represent it before me. I just think if it aligns with my moral values, I feel like I'm representing it.
Miracle on Ice, U.S. Hockey captain Mike Eruzione does not agree with Hess, writing in a since-deleted tweet saying, quote, Hunter Hess, U.S. snowboarder, saying he doesn't represent his country, but his family and friends, then don't put on the USA uniform. Maybe just put on for family and friends and let some other athletes, some athletes just don't get it.
So what do you think about that?
I agree.
They're all out there. I mean, why are you trying out for the U.S. team if you don't want to be representing the U.S.? Why don't you go represent a country that you agree with?
Amber Glenn, one of our figure skaters, and Hunter Hess, one of our freestyle skiers, both showed their ass. Amber Glenn was talking about LGBTQ, of course, and Hunter Hess was talking about just not being, that America doesn't represent necessarily what he stands for, or something like that. And to your point, once again, they want to take from their country. They want to take the clout they get from being on the team and the money they might make from winning a medal. They're fine taking all of that, but they can't give back to the country that's providing all of that to them. I mean, man, think about that. That's the sickness of it. Again, it gets back to being self-absorbed. No awareness of the people and the places around you that get you to where you're going.
Well, I just like
my head is on fire right now. My head is on fire.
That's it. Jack Burton, like he said earlier, he hates watching shows and the sports and the politics coming together like that. But what makes me mad is when people get mad at me for talking about it, because I don't usually talk about politics unless they bring it into the sports. See, what they do is they want to bring politics into our sports and make their point, but then they don't want any pushback. That's what they want. And I think that's what Jack Burton's saying. They want to bring the politics into the sports, but then when we have an opinion on it, oh, no. Y'all can't be talking about politics in sports. Well, y'all the ones bringing it in here, man. Y'all the ones doing it. You Olympians and all you NBA players, all you football players, y'all bringing the shit in there, man. Y'all doing it. Colin Kaepernick and all that stupid shit.
Yeah. And again, man, to not have the respect for the very country that's giving you the opportunity that you're taking advantage of. That's the world we live in right now, And again, it's a real problem, man. There's a lot of kids that came up in our school systems over the last 20 years that think our country is inherently bad, that don't have an appreciation. That's what allows them to say the wretched things they say about this country and do the things that they do to help take it down. And the funny thing is, those people think that they're going to be in the good graces of the people that take over when this country eventually gets toppled. That's the funny thing. You're going to be kicked to the curb with every other white person around. So Jennifer Welch, you stupid idiot, you think you're going to be protected?
You keep bringing her up. I don't even know who that is.
She's this white lady that's got this really popular podcast. I've Had It, I think is the name of it. And she's constantly on the news and she's all she does is talk about how horrible this country is and how horrible white people are. And it just drives me up the wall, man. It just drives me up the wall because, again, it's just like, I grew up hearing about how bad racism was, and I saw a time in this country, whether people want to admit it or not, when that shit was largely just gone. People didn't see in color. Certainly not the people I was hanging out with.
No.
And
in the 80s, man, I was hanging out with mostly black folks.
Yeah, I grew up thinking it was a horrible thing. And now all of a sudden I live in this world where people justify like hate against white people. And this crazy, scary thing is it's largely the reason why it won't go away is because white people keep giving it life.
They want to be part of the cool kid party. They think that's going to make them cool and down with the brother.
But that's the thing. They're never going to be in that part. That will never happen for them. Because right now, yeah, they're in the cool kids club because there's still people like me and you to hate. But when all of us are gone, then they're only left with those people. They'll turn on them. Then they'll be the enemy. Because at the end of the day, they're still white.
Y'all smash the like button if you don't mind. We're lagging a little bit tonight, but I sort of expect this on a Friday night and talking a little bit of politics here. It pisses people off and they don't want to watch. And I can understand if you want to get away from politics sometimes. You want to get in here and talk about sports. But like I said, sometimes you just have to address it, man. Staying on the sidelines and not address it, I think, is the problem that we have is people that don't agree with the shit. They're just afraid to say anything, and come out and say what they really feel.
I mean, man, I gotta be honest with you. It makes me slightly nervous to say the things I'm saying right now online. I don't know why. I mean, even if you want to come try to take what I got, you ain't gonna get much. So come on, get it. I mean,
but, sometimes you gotta worry about people doxing you and shit like that.
I'm not saying anything.
You gotta go after your job and all sorts of
shit, man. Like, my point is not hatred of other people. My point is the exact opposite. There should be no division, but there's a section of our country right now in the name of everyone living together. They are racist as a hell. And I'm tired of pretending like it's not what it is. It's absolutely what it is. The most racist people I know these days are not white. That's just a fact. And I know a lot of non-white people
that'll say mad is they try to say that it's not that black people and other races can't be racist. Yes, you can. The definition of racism is to judge somebody by their skin color. It don't matter what skin color it is. If you judge them by their skin color, that's racism.
But I'm telling you, man, I feel it when I drive around. I live in the 4th largest city in this country, but diverse as hell. Every color of the rainbow lives in Houston, Texas. And I drive around the city all day long, north, south, east, and west, going into people's homes, measuring houses, selling flooring. Okay? I see the cross-section of this city on a daily basis. And then there's times when I walk into areas and I feel it now. The eyes are on me, the stares, the looks, the little when I'm walking by, And it wasn't like that when I was growing up. That's a new thing, Now,
Fred Bagley come up with a good idea, sort of off the topic here, just, to make things a little more pleasant tonight. Because I put this link in the multi-chat that we got, and I can invite y'all to that multi-chat. Just hit me up on OCF Productions, at OCF Productions, on Twitter, a.k.a. X, at OCF Productions, and DMs, and I'll give y'all my name on there for Facebook and whatnot. I'm not going to give it out on here because I've been having problems with people stalking me, like Killer Breeze was talking about. I didn't know no better, but now I know better. So. But, yeah, it's called Friday. What do you call it, Fred? Fred Bagley called it Friday Fanny Day or something.
Say that again.
Friday Fanny Day.
Friday what?
Fanny, like ass.
Friday Fanny Day. I don't
Friday,
know what that.
We'll just call it Friday Ass Day then, so y'all know what I'm talking about. Like your fanny. Some people call your ass.
Oh, yeah.
They call your ass a fanny, right?
Fanny Friday.
Fanny Friday. That's what he said. So in honor of Fred Bagley, because this was his ideas, this was his brainchild, Here is Friday Fanny. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Can you see it?
Hell yeah.
Here we go. Hold up. Let me get that volume up.
Get your popcorn ready because I'm about to put on a show. Oh, yeah! Get your popcorn ready because I'm about to put on a show. Oh, yeah! Was you able to see that?
I had not seen that.
Was you able to see it?
Oh yeah. That's how I like it. That's what I like, man. I like a little meat on the bone.
I like them big badonky donks.
A little meat on the bone. They never hurt nobody. I don't know.
Trace Atkins. There's a great Trace Atkins once saying, "Honky tonk badonky donk."
Yeah, he ain't the only one saying.
Which one is the one that don't? Which one is the one that boxes? Jake Paul, or was it? Who's the other one?
They both technically they both box, to be honest with you. But Jake is the one that boxes more. Jake is the one that's had all of the really big fights lately.
Right. And his brother's name is what?
Logan
Paul. He's the wrestler. Well, anyway, Jake Paul was calling that skier out. Now you know if one of the Paul brothers is questioning your morality, something's wrong with you.
Yeah. That's a fact. By the way, is Logan a legit WWE wrestler?
Yeah, he is, and he's actually pretty good, man. He caught on really fast. I thought it was just going to be a joke because usually bring them celebrities in, they're not very good, but he's very, very, very athletic. He's very cocky, but he's very athletic, and that fits any wrestler anyway. You need that cocky. He's a great heel. You need to watch him sometimes. There's some funny shit he does, but he plays the heel really well.
Yeah, he would make a good heel. I'll say that. That would make sense. Well, Thunder has broke my heart and let me know that Jennifer Welsh actually comes from Oklahoma. That sucks.
Now, in my last video, one of my videos about Oklahoma, trying to remember what it was about now. What was that last video I done on Oklahoma? The DeMarco Murray and the Bedlam series coming back kind of deal. We got on the subject of the governor there in Oklahoma, and he's a rhino, by the way. That son of a bitch was talking about that Oklahoma people didn't really want to get rid of illegal immigrants. And I'm like, I think you're not speaking for everybody, bro.
Oh, that's the bullshit, dude.
And I'm like, you're the problem. You are the problem. See, I got to give Democrats one thing. They all stick together, man. They all lock and step, except for that guy in what's his name, the one in Pennsylvania that had the stroke. Fetterman, he'll call him out.
I love that dude now, man.
I didn't like him at first, but then when he started calling out Democrats, I'm like, oh shit! Finally got somebody with some common sense over there.
But dude, tell me what he says doesn't make sense. He doesn't say anything that isn't true. The stuff he says, I agree with. You know, and that's the thing. Unlike liberals or these progressives, not liberals, it's these crazy ass progressives. They're the ones that force you to think every way that they think, you know. It's nuts, man. It's nuts.
So you're saying, oh shit,
I lost my train of thought.
So you're saying she's from freaking Oklahoma City? She's a Okeechobee State fan.
She better be.
And we were talking about that in my podcast, man. I'm just like, I don't understand why. I know these mayors think it's a big boom for the economy. Oklahoma does not need Oklahoma State for no economic boom. I'm sorry, man. I don't buy that shit, man. The Norman mayor, he's just doing that shit for fucking votes, man. I don't believe it. Shit, I don't believe Oklahoma needs them. The only thing I would do, like I said in my podcast, if I was Oklahoma, is I would schedule them for a 2-game set with a stipulation. If you can't beat us in one of these 2 games, we ain't playing you no more. We're going to take that damn Bedlam trophy, and you ain't ever going to see it again.
Well, you know what, though? I mean, listen.
Plus, Oklahoma's playing 9 conference games now, man. They shouldn't have to play another Power 4.
I'm kind of interested to see what Oklahoma State does now under their new coach. You know? I mean, Gundy's gone. Gundy was let's face it. Gundy had some decent years, a couple of them. But overall, he was largely didn't get it done. you know. And sometimes I don't even think he was
They're never
trying.
gonna get done. It don't matter who the goes here, man. They're not going to ever get it done because they're in the same state as Oklahoma. I mean, they might get close like they did.
But
that
they
one-
could be a lot better. They could be more consistent, and they could be better.
Well, they could be like Auburn. You know, Auburn is in
That's
the
my
state with
point.
blue blood, and Auburn's actually won national title or two. They won two. They went back and claimed a bunch. They jumped in the damn DeLorean with Marty and Doc and went back and claimed a bunch of titles.
Yeah. Yeah, nice.
Oklahoma State might borrow that DeLorean from them.
Well, like I said, it's going to be, it's going to be interesting to see what they do now with their new coach. I'm kind of curious to see if they can actually start putting together some more consistency.
Well, then here's the first order of business. Before y'all talk about playing Oklahoma, y'all need to win a game in the Big 12 because y'all haven't won a single game in the Big 12 since Oklahoma left. Y'all went over. What was they 0-9 last year or 0-10 or something?
That's
they play. How many they could play 9 conference games in the Big 12? They were 0-9. Y'all said y'all were going to take over. Oklahoma and Texas is gone. We're finally going to have our day in the sun. Wrong answer.
It was bad. That's for sure. All right. I'm looking at did Alabama play softball tonight?
Yeah, I think Alabama did. I'm not sure they won or not. Alabama is undefeated right now. They were 5-0. I don't know if they're still undefeated. They're ranked 6th or 7th, I think, or maybe 8th.
Oklahoma already has a loss.
Yeah, they got beat by Arizona. I'm keeping up with it, you fucker. You got me interested in this stuff.
But you saw they lost that first game, but then they came back and they whipped their ass in the second game like 21-3.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, man, how do you go from losing? How do you go from beating the team 11-6 and getting beat 21-3 in the next game?
Well, 11-6, they kind of messed up and they just ended up giving up a grand slam. But this team, just wait till you see, man. They got home run. There's not one weak bat in the lineup. Not one. Every single girl that comes to the plate is capable of hitting a home run. And they are hitting fingers.
Alabama, Oklahoma.
They hit like 15 home runs in that series against Arizona, man.
We're definitely gonna have to. We're definitely gonna have to do Alabama and Oklahoma.
Oh yeah, dude, it's gonna be awesome, man.
Now, I was watching some short clips of these softball teams, not just Oklahoma. And man, these girls are making some serious athletic plays, man.
They are.
And they're not like ugly dykes either. They're like hot and stretching out for that shit. So it makes it very pleasant when you see it happen.
Yeah, dude.
I hate to be sexist like that, but I can't help it. Man, it's just normal. You know, to see something like that, and you're like, "Oh yeah, that was pretty good."
No, that's what I'm saying, man. They make legit. Yeah, Alabama beat the crap out of Purdue. Run ruled them 10-0.
Damn, Big Ten might be getting better in football, but they ain't getting better in softball. They suck.
No.
They suck bad in softball and baseball.
Yeah, man, they're not. They can't like. It doesn't come close. There's just no comparison at all in either one of those sports between the SEC and the rest of the country.
And the SEC's taking over basketball. Sometimes it looks like.
That's just a matter of that. If it hasn't started to happen already, I mean, I would argue. I mean, who was better than the SEC last year? Was the SEC, because the SEC had what? Because Florida won it, right?
Florida won national title last year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Auburn was like a 1 seed.
Didn't they play? Florida play an SEC school in the title game? Alabama made the Final Four, didn't they? 2 years ago. Or was it last year?
Was it Florida and Alabama in the final game?
No. I think Alabama made the Final Four, but we got knocked out because it could have been Alabama and Florida.
Who did y'all lose?
Whoever knocked us out, I think they beat UConn or some shit. I don't know. I can't remember, man. My basketball memory is nowhere near as good as my football memory.
Me either. Mine isn't either, man. Mine's bad when it comes to anything other than the football. But we're gonna have fun. We're gonna have fun watching softball this year. I'm telling you, man, it's gonna be fun. And the great thing is, I'm telling you, man, when you get into the conference play, like we're talking about, you know, like the conference, every series in the conference is gonna be great. Every one of them, like for Alabama and for Oklahoma, they're both.
My friend Jonathan, who usually makes fun of me for watching it, he was actually telling me today, he's like, man, you might ought to seriously do it more often. He said, because it could be a niche, not many people's doing it, and it could, you know, work out pretty good for you, especially if I do Alabama and Oklahoma.
Yeah,
both of them's in the top 10.
Well, I don't even care. I don't even care admitting it. I openly talk about it all the time. I don't care. I love watching it. I watch it all the time. It's great because the games don't last as long as baseball. They're shorter. There's a lot more action. It's constant action, man. Very rare that you have these low-scoring games. It happens from time to time, but for the most part.
So what do you think would happen if I had Patty Gasso on the show?
Oh, you get a ton of views. I mean, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. Maybe we need to try to get Patty on the show, or just get maybe Tiare Jennings, you know, who's on the staff right now.
They might be more accessible than some of these football players and coaches. They get up there and get all that money, and they think they're better than the Common Joes out there. They can't do Common Joe.
Can't hurt. Can't hurt.
Remember a girl that was in there last year? I can't remember her name. She was a softball chick, and she was like really knowledgeable. I can't remember her damn name though.
Crystal.
So you got a better memory when it comes to women than I do. Crystal.
There was a time, you know, I did play in a band. That shit is true.
Yeah. I bet you wouldn't mind having a mind old Crystal's a groupie.
Well, here's the funny thing, dude. I think I told you this. I think I said this when we were on one of the shows. Yeah, I figured out it's the craziest thing. I know who that is. That girl, Crystal, is the best friend of a girl that I knew when I lived in Austin, who I actually hooked up with. And so I know who Crystal is. That's the funny thing.
I am Senator wants to know if I'm sure about Oklahoma's governor. I know for a fact there was a report on national news that Governor Stitt called Trump and told him he had 500 plus illegals packed and ready to go. I'm just telling you what I heard. There's some kind of clip of him saying that Oklahoma is not really supporting ICE kind of deal. And that may not be directly saying that he wants illegals in Oklahoma, but it's basically saying that you're not supporting an organization that's removing them.
First of all, not supporting ICE is nothing more than just Trump hate. Before, when Obama was in office, when Biden was in office, they didn't hate ICE at all. See, they were just. I just saw a news piece on CNN from like 2015, you know, and it was all about pro ICE and how good of a job they were doing. If the only reason why that is going on in Minnesota is because Minnesota will not allow ICE to go into the jails and take people into custody as they're being released from custody in the local jails and prisons. And Minnesota, being the liberal state, keep in mind, in 1984, when Ronald Reagan ran against Walter Mondale, and he had a massive landslide victory. He won 49 out of 50 electoral states, dude. Only one state voted for Walter Mondale, and it was Minnesota.
I heard it was the District of Columbia.
No, it was Minnesota. They voted for Walter Mondale. The rest of the country voted for Ronald Reagan. So that should tell you, if you think they were liberal then, think about where they are now. You know?
So I'm going to bring this article up real quick about Governor Stitt. I didn't know his last name until y'all told me. But here it is, I Am Senator. Can you see that? Killer Breeze?
Yeah.
Can you read it? It's too small.
I can read it.
All right. Says here in January 2026, Republican Governor Kevin Stitt expressed significant disagreement with immigration enforcement tactics of the Trump administration, specifically criticizing U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, that being ICE, actions following the deadly shooting in Minnesota. So there you go. He said he does not agree with the way ICE is handling things. Do I agree with killing folks? No. But if someone tries to run over me with their freaking car, or they're carrying a weapon on them, and a few days before or a week before, you already had problems with an individual kicking out your damn taillights on your vehicle, and you had to break his rib, then yeah, you deserve to die. I'm sorry, man. If you going, what's the old saying go? You play stupid games, get stupid prizes, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's the Governor Stitt thing that you asked for, I am, sir. I hate it too, man. He's a Republican, and right now the Republican Party believes in a lot of stuff that I believe in. I'm not necessarily a Republican or a MAGA. I just don't agree with much that the liberals and the Democrats are pushing. I mean, people try to label me, and I don't like labels, man.
I agree.
So, I used to be a Democrat once upon a time. And I have voted in the primaries recently, but I do it to be what you would call a dino, I guess. I went and voted for Bernie Sanders in the primary, just to vote for the worst one I could vote for.
Yeah.
It's just a way of aggravating, you know, it's just a principle thing. I need to go and remove myself from that list because they were calling me not calling me, they were texting me on the phone, asking me to give them donations for the Kamala Harris election, this past election. They were hitting me up for money because my name's on the Democratic voting list.
Interesting.
You know, the Hodge twins used to be Democratic.
Yeah.
Officer Tatum used to be Democratic. You know who those guys are.
I do.
And who else was it? Joe Rogan used to be Democrat. Donald Trump used to be Democrat. It's not a party anymore. It's only a party by name.
Well, the thing is, man, we need to just get away from the parties in general. Anyway, I mean,
stupid.
They're the problem. They're part of the problem, and it really shouldn't matter. You know, fuck a party. Like, we don't need it. You know, we just need candidates. That's all we need. They can claim whatever party they have. They can each just every time you're a candidate. Oh, what's your party? Oh, my party is whatever they call it. You know, I don't care. But my point is, we should just have good candidates that we think could make good presidents, and they should run against each other. And
it's like the high school days, you know.
Yeah.
In high school, it's funny how high school students have it more right than we do.
Yeah.
They have like 3 or 4 candidates. If it's a close race, you take the top 2 and have a runoff. Easy.
But we just have to get back to the point where we're realistic and the truth matters and facts matter and treating each other with compassion matters. Like, you know, I'm tired of, you know, the other thing too is, man, the gaslighting from the left is just out of control, man. Like, they sit here and they talk about how, you know, it's so funny to me that they used the Jimmy Kimmel thing and what was the other one, and Don Lemon, to talk about how the right wants to censor free speech. And it's like, are you kidding me? You were the people that were putting mother effers in jail for trying to spread the truth about COVID. If you said anything about ivermectin or what's the other one? Oh man, I can't
know what
believe
you're talking about, but yeah, they were also putting people in jail for going to church. But it's okay to have a rally,
yeah,
or whatever liberal event.
That's what I'm saying. They arrested an old lady that was silently praying outside of a Planned Parenthood. But you want to talk about we're the ones against free speech? She wasn't even talking, man. She was silently praying outside of a Planned Parenthood in protest to abortion, God forbid, and you want to arrest her. Oh, but we're the people that don't believe in free speech. Give me a break.
And then they tried to impeach. They tried to impeach Donald Trump for telling people not to riot. He told them not to. He told them protest peacefully. He even called Pelosi and told her, hey, you might want to put some National Guardsmen up there, and she turned it down because she wanted that shit to happen.
Yes.
She even admitted to that shit.
That's the thing. That's like these protests. They're not really protests, man. These are paid agitators. They don't have jobs. They get paid to go do this, and they're not just protesting. They are actively impeding the work of ICE. So I don't understand how they're not all getting arrested. Like it's a crime. Go see what happens to you if you get in the way of a cop trying to arrest someone who's committing a crime. Your ass is going to get arrested too. So how are these agitators who are not peacefully protesting, how are they not getting arrested and going and getting prosecuted federally? That part I don't understand, you know. And I know that they're pulling out of Minnesota largely. I don't know if it's because I heard that they were going to let them get into the prisons now and the jails, and that's why they were largely drawing down the presence in Minnesota. But I don't know anymore what's going on. And frankly, if you want my honest opinion, Minnesota deserves what Minnesota gets. I'm starting to have a hard time believing that if most of you people there didn't want what was going on, then why the hell do you keep voting for it? Or maybe Minnesota is an example to everybody else in this country that if you think this can't happen where you live, you're crazy. Like you better start getting used to speaking up and speaking out against this nonsense. Otherwise, you're going to be living in a place like Minnesota too.
A lot of those people that were sent there were, like you say, paid agitators. They weren't from Minnesota. They weren't even from Minnesota, most of them.
So, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like then this is not just. That's the other thing. We got to quit. They're lying. What's that?
We need to find out who's bankrolling it. If it's George Soros or whoever. But that's what I'm saying. Even if you find out these people are doing it, they won't put them in jail.
Dude, it comes. A lot of this money comes straight from the NGO corruption. You know, all these damn NGOs that get all this federal money. Like that's what Doge kind of uncovered was kind of the big fraud of NGOs. Like, you know, you get this money, you know, someone like George Soros can actually leverage his money instead of taking $10 million instead of taking his own money and trying to run a campaign to buy to get a seat. It would take him hundreds of millions of dollars to run a campaign. Or he can just donate $10 million to a crooked politician who'll get the government to award $250 million to his BS NGO. And then the NGO starts paying out and putting agitators on the payroll and sending them out to places like Minnesota. There's a reason why it's not like ICE isn't getting people all over the country and other places all over. But there's a reason why it's only happening in Minnesota. And it's because... What's that?
They're going to get brave one day and decide that they want to come take a shot at a red state. And then that's when you're going to have an issue. You're going to have mass casualties, deaths, like if they were to come to certain areas of Texas or Alabama, Mississippi, Florida.
You take like Texas, you know, as much as it drives me crazy. Now, I don't live in Harris County anymore, but Harris County, which is the main county of Houston, it's liberal as hell. You know, so you talk about Texas, it's I think most of the people in Houston, because it's not just Harris County, it's also all the counties around Houston that make up Houston, you know, proper basically. And or the greater Houston area, excuse me. And everything else around Harris County is conservative as hell. So yeah, overall there's more conservatives than not, but like, you know, it would take, like, they would lose. Ultimately they would lose, the liberals would lose if it went to like a civil war type of thing. But in all of the major cities, Dallas, San Antonio, I'm pretty sure San Antonio too, but definitely Dallas, definitely Austin, and definitely Houston. And I would imagine El Paso too. The large majority of the main counties of those large metropolis areas, they're liberal. You know, it's just, thank God, the entire rest of the state is conservative. It's the same thing in California, by the way. You know, it's just that those big areas, unfortunately, outnumber the rest of the state. But if you just looked at red and blue in the state of California, it's damn near all red. But it's just blue in LA, blue in San Francisco, blue in San Diego. You know what I mean?
Ryan Center says he agrees that he don't and do not think the governor's opinion on that statement was a good thing, but I do think that it is not the same thing as deporting them. Well, I mean, if you disagree with ICE deporting people the way they're having to deport them, then you're basically not supporting ICE who deports people. So I think it's the same thing, in my opinion. If you don't support ICE, then you don't support deporting, because that's what their main job is deporting people. And he just don't need to be saying anything that may be construed as being negative towards ICE, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. What do you take from that statement by I Am Sooner?
Well, I mean, look, at the end of the day, I think all I care about is deporting every illegal immigrant that's in this country. I want them gone. You know?
And if someone tries to interfere with that and they try to run over you with a car, I would be okay with killing them, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Or I'll tell you what, and the people that have been here, I'll say this. The illegals that have been here for 10 years plus years, you know, and they've been good, productive citizens the whole time they've been here. I'm fine if you want to give them a fast track where they don't even have to necessarily leave, you know, but they got to pay fine, you know, they got to become a citizen, become a tax-paying citizen, and immediately, you know.
They need to have sponsors too, people that can say, hey, this guy's a great individual. He's been great for the community. He's come to work every day.
I'm fine with that. Yeah, I'm fine with that because ultimately, I just want you to be a productive citizen. So if you've been here illegally and it's our fault for letting you get in, like at a certain point, we are responsible for making it so easy for people to get in. Like, we are to blame for some of this. So it's like contributory negligence, you know? So I'd be fine if they've got a proven track record of being a productive citizen, fine. Make them tax-paying citizens immediately and they can stay. I don't care about that. But if you haven't been a tax-paying citizen, if you've been on welfare this whole time, if you've been committing crimes, get the hell out, you know? And I don't think you should be able to come back. There's no way you should be able to make it back. But we got to be realistic about what our capability, you know, part of the reason why my insurance is $800 a month for one damn person is because of all the illegals that get services, health services, that don't have insurance.
I'm just going to bring this up real quick. I want you to see something real quick just to validate what I was saying earlier so you don't think I'm just going off some paranoia. Listen, you know how it is. You don't know what to believe in, Dave. Can you see that?
Oh, yeah.
Fulton County admits to verifying 315,000 votes that were illegitimate. It says Fulton County made a stunning admission about the 2020 election, almost 5 years of assuring voters all procedures were followed. They've called them in a lie. They were
what did they do?
I can't find the link now, but Benny Johnson was talking about it on his show, and he was showing some clips of how they were like photocopying votes of Biden's or something and just voting for Biden and changing votes and all sorts of shit.
What?
Yeah, because remember when they went to they called the voting at 3:00 in the morning.
Oh, I remember, dude.
Which they never do. They've never done that ever in 100. Even back in when they was voting and they had to get the votes by horse, they didn't stop counting. But they stopped that night, and the next morning the chart was doing like this, and just went straight up.
Oh, I remember, dude. Trust me, it wasn't just in Georgia. But Georgia was the craziest one because all night long, Georgia was like, he was so far in the lead, and it was so little left that every news station was basically saying at that point, yeah, I don't know why they haven't called Georgia yet. I don't know why we haven't called Georgia yet. And then all of a sudden they stopped counting, and I wake up in the morning and I'm like, what? Wait, he's losing all of a sudden? It was the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. And we've never seen anything since.
I'm trying to find a link on it.
We're gonna see, man, in what the midterms bring. That's what I'm really, if we lose the House in the midterms, which a lot of people think we will, it's gonna be immediately they're gonna start impeaching Trump again, dude. They're gonna be impeaching ICE. It's gonna suck, man.
Can't find it now, but I found it earlier. It's under
what?
It's on Benny Johnson's show. He was basically talking about how they
I'm listening.
1,000 votes or something. Looked like we went out for a second. So we're talking about this shit, Big Brother trying to cut us. But anyway, yeah, it was on the Benny Johnson show. Y'all go check it out. It is explained a lot better than I can. But basically, they were, and as you saw in that story, they are basically admitting to some like 315,000 fraudulent votes for Biden.
Well, it doesn't surprise me, man. I know that election something was wrong in that election. That's clear. I saw that 2,000 Mules by Dinesh D'Souza, where they have videotape of people stuffing ballot boxes at like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. The same person going to multiple ballot boxes around town and just shoving hundreds of ballots into a box at 3:30.
Did you say you thought we was going to lose the midterms? Did you say you thought the Republicans were going to lose the midterms?
I think there's a good chance.
I hope not.
I know it's going to be terrible.
Because I didn't know a lot about politics growing up. I didn't understand all of it. You just a common Joe when it comes to politics. You think the president controls everything, but you don't realize that the president can't do certain things without the House and the Senate when you get older, man. They got to have. And like Fred Bagley was saying earlier, man, they need to have term limits on the senators and stuff, man. That's bullshit. They don't have term limits. If you're going to put a term limit on the president, you need to put a term limit on everybody else.
100%. But they're never going to do it because they're the ones that pass the laws. So they're never going to pass the law against themselves. They're just not going to do it.
That's the same thing with the Republicans.
Again, but you know why they keep not doing it? Because as citizens, we don't hold them accountable. The mere fact that any senator or Congress or House of Representatives, the fact that any of them have multiple terms when they won't vote for term limits, that's our fault. We shouldn't keep electing these people. We shouldn't elect someone to 20, 30 years in politics if they refuse and always vote down, because this issue comes up from time to time. It's just big shocker. It gets voted down. But it's our fault for continuing to elect these people back to office.
Right? They couldn't stay in office. They couldn't stay in office forever if you didn't vote for them.
Right. Like we technically, the funny thing is we don't really need to have term limits. We could just impose them on them. Right. And just refuse to elect people more than twice.
Unless they fix the ballots. and our vote don't count at that point. Our votes don't matter. I think they've been fixing this shit for a while. Though. I told you this before.
100%. That's what I'm saying, man.
I mean, how were they getting votes all the way back in the day when you didn't have a car or a train? You had to do shit by.
Dude.
You had to do shit by horse, and you couldn't. There's no way they counted them votes back then. There's no way, man. Back in the 1800s, all them votes got counted.
No, that's what I'm saying, man. That's what I meant. That's why 2020 changed everything.
But now, the way we got technology now, there's no excuse for not getting the votes counted right. Back then, they had an excuse, man. They didn't have any technology.
But you could also argue it's never going to have been easier to rig the system because it's all digital now. How the hell did you or me, does the average American have any idea whether it's really true or not?
Yeah, well, how do we know the computer's not rigged and it's not?
Yeah, it's not like 100% of the voter base votes. So you never know what the total number should be. So technically they could be adding or subtracting votes from the total count. We would never. How would we know?
That's what I'm saying.
That's why we need to do things like have voter ID so that we can at least try in any way we can to make sure a vote is legitimate. Which they just passed.
If you don't have voter ID, then not only do you have people voting that are legal, but you have people re-voting that are legal. I could go vote 5 times. I could go vote 5 times, man.
They just passed the bill for federal ID. But by the way, every single Democrat in the House except for one, Cuellar in Texas, every single one of them voted against having voter ID. Every one of them. And so every one of those districts that those people represent, every one of those Democrats should be voted out of office the next time they come up for election, just for voting against voter ID.
That's common sense. That's why I can't vote for Democrats, because they do stuff. They stick together even when they know they're wrong. They stick together.
There's no reason to not have voter ID unless you're trying to cheat. That's the only reason to not have voter ID.
Exactly.
I challenge any liberal out there to give me one reason that isn't voter that you're just cheating.
Well, that's why I say you're infringing on people's right to vote. You don't have the right to vote if you don't live here legally, dumbass. If you don't agree with that law, then do something to change the laws. If you don't like the laws.
Dude, there's liberal cities in this country and states in this country that literally put on the ballot to allow non-citizens the right to vote. And I think some places actually allow that already.
And they probably do.
I just want you to think about how absolutely ridiculous it is to allow a foreign citizen to vote in another country's elections. You are just like, what would have stopped our enemies then for coming in here and voting for everything that they want? You ignorant morons who support this nonsense. Like, you're so brainwashed by the cult that this is how they get you to go along with. You're so afraid of being kicked out of the tribe that you go along with this nonsense. You literally, it's funny, you always talk about conservatives as Nazis. You guys are the Nazi soldiers that went along with killing the Jews just because you were afraid of what was going to happen if you stood up for what was right. That's the ironic thing.
The Democrats were supported by the KKK for years.
The fact that liberals saying voter ID is racist, it's nonsense on the face of it, because these same people
How can it be
have
racist?
to have ID to buy alcohol, to get a gun, to do
There you go.
you gotta have ID for all kinds of shit, to drive a car. So
why
be the ID bullshit?
Why don't you have to, if you have an ID because you have to just go get a beer or a cigarette, then why wouldn't you have an ID for something that's a lot more important?
Nobody has a problem getting an ID when they want to drive around their whip. So I'm assuming it ain't going to be a problem to whip out that same ID to vote. The funny thing is, this is a fake issue because the overwhelming majority of every ethnicity in this country, it's like high 80% of Caucasians, white people that think we should have voter ID. It's like 76% of blacks think we should have it. It's like 82% of Hispanics think we should have voter ID. Like everyone, this is just politicians, man, using an issue to divide us and try to get votes from.
Thunder U Center says non-citizens should not be able to run for Congress or any elections if they're not natural born in the United States. I agree with that. Of course, there are some non-citizens or people that aren't born in this country that could probably run this country better than we do, like Elon Musk, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
but Elon does some shit too, man. Elon's got some shady shit about him too.
Yeah, can't allow non-citizens should not be able to vote. They shouldn't be able to own property. They should not be able to I'm not even sure they should be able to own a business in your country. Like, again, you have to think of, it's not this whole idea that it's intolerant to be safe. That's stupid. That's just dumb.
Well, that's them trying to scare you into being quiet. That's what they do. They shout you down with labels. Oh, and a lot of people, they give into it. They're like, man, I don't want to be called a bigot or a racist, so I'm going to stay here and be quiet. I'm going to be quiet because if I don't, they'll dox my job and call me a racist and get me fired.
I've done that. I've been quiet in the past too. I mean, that's the problem. That's how we got here, because
that's right.
Over the years, when this kept getting dumber and dumber and dumber, like this started happening when I was back in the 80s, and it really kicked into high gear in the 90s. And instead of me, I just didn't want to get involved with the crazy people that were doing the crazy politics when dumb political correctness was getting out of control.
Start with that O.J. Simpson shit.
Just all of it, dude, and just the trying to control the language and changing the language and what was okay and what wasn't okay, and taking away the holidays, you know, and when all of a sudden we couldn't say Merry Christmas anymore, it was supposed to be Happy Holidays. It was like little stuff like that, and instead of us going bullshit, we're saying Merry Christmas, man. That's what we say in America. Instead of doing that, we went along with it. You know, we went along with it.
My first indication, like you said, in the 80s, it seemed like a calming period. People were getting along. Then the 90s come around and start getting closer to 2000s. The O.J. Simpson thing was really a wake-up call for me, because I was all about, you know, civil rights and supporting black folks and stuff. But that opened my eyes up to the fact that some black folks are not against racism. They just don't want you to be racist against them, but they want to be racist against you.
Right.
Because O.J. Simpson killed her, and she was a white girl. Had she not been white, they wouldn't have been talking about free O.J. Simpson.
Right.
If they had been a black chick, they'd been all about putting his ass in jail.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's racism. That's being racist against white folks. Y'all didn't support O.J. Simpson. Y'all only supported O.J. because he killed a white woman, which makes you racist.
It's just, I mean, again, man, racism exists in all. There's no one race that's exclusive to it. It can be any race, any person. It's ignorance. You're never going to completely get rid of racism. That's the other thing we got to quit allowing to happen. One of the games that they play all the time is they go, you find one example of a racist person and you go, see, white people are still racist. See, systemic racism still exists. You see?
Yeah.
Well, that's just, yes. You can't take an isolated event and use that to say that that's true of all people. That's BS. You're never going to get rid of isolated events of racism, because you're never going to get rid of ignorance. Ignorance is racism. So
you can also find black folks that are racist. If you go
absolutely. That's what I'm saying. It can exist in anyone. But my point is, you got to stop looking at isolated events and trying to say that that's example of a bigger problem at a whole, because the truth is, at whole, the problem is actually a lot better. Well, right now it's worse. But it was a whole lot. It was gone, man. It wasn't a thing anymore.
I Am Sooner says Kristi Noem moved to Maricopa County in Arizona, and the Arizona election materials are on the hook next. Here's what bothers me about all this shit, and this falls on Trump. If you find out they're doing it and they've done it, are you going to put them in jail? Are you going to do something about it, or are you just going to tattle and say, "See, we told you they were corrupt, so y'all need to vote, keep voting for us"? No, that's fine. We'll vote for you, but you're going to have to put them in jail, man, because not all Democrats, there's not many, but not all Democrats are crooked. Some of them's probably just like you or me, and they just wanted to be quiet for a while because they was afraid they'd be labeled something they really weren't. You probably got some good Democrats out there, and they're just scared, man. But Donald Trump, man, he's aggravating me sometimes, like the whole Greenland and Venezuela thing. I'm okay with that, but it should have been a priority down the road, in my opinion. The Venezuela and Greenland shit should have took place after he got Minnesota and California where they need to be, because he's supposed to be America first.
I agree. I mean, I totally agree. We have so many issues here right now. We got to get insurance under control, man. It's out of control.
They're robbing us, man.
We got to get, housing under control. We got to get taxes under control. We got to get all these things. We got to get healthcare figured out. We got to get all these things fixed.
We get taxed way too much. We get taxed on everything, man.
And the thing is,
that's why we had the Revolutionary War, to get away from taxes.
The complicated tax code that nobody really knows what the hell it is, that you got to be rich so that you can afford an expensive tax attorney to figure out what the hell you're doing and try to get the loopholes. Like, that's all nonsense. All that needs to change. I don't know. This is pretty much probably just a pipe dream. I don't know if it's ever going to happen. But that's what really needs to happen. We need real change. We need corruption out of politics. So we need politics as a career. That needs to end. That ends with campaign finance reform and term limits. We got to stop allowing campaigns to cost $200 million to run a campaign. That effectively keeps anyone out other than the people that are tied to big money, big corporations, because they're the only ones that can afford that kind of money on something like a political campaign. So,
and you have to get on the ballot. Even if you were to want to run and you had big support, say you got really popular on YouTube, like Mr. Beast or something, you decide you want to run for president, you can't just run for president. You have to get on the ballot. They have to allow you to get on the ballot for the people. If the people want you on the ballot, you should just be able to write them in.
Well, technically, you can in any election. You could run a huge write-in campaign. I mean, people have done that in the past. But it'd be better to be on the ballot, obviously. But yeah, man, we've got to. But again, like, the power lies in the people. But it would take some kind of organization, obviously, on some level, to get everybody organized towards the same end. But that's what needs to happen, man. We got to start making these damn politicians more accountable. Right now, they pretty much do whatever they want. And some of them just rub it right in your face. People like Nancy Pelosi basically just rub right in your face that she used politics as a... Do what?
They're not going to get prosecuted, man. Even if they catch them doing something wrong, they're not going to put them in jail.
No, they usually don't.
McFab said Trump RX is helping out a lot. I heard about Trump RX, but I haven't looked into it. Have you heard anything about Trump RX?
I don't know what that is.
It's some kind of medical program that's supposed to try to do what you're saying. It's supposed to try to get you some affordable insurance that don't ream your ass every month. Kind of deal.
Sure ain't helping me yet.
So I guess you need to Google Trump RX.
Wow.
But hey, brother, I'm finna have to get off here. It's been good having you on here tonight. Glad
Yeah,
you've been here. It's been a little while, but
are we doing softball tomorrow? Or
if
Sunday?
you want to.
I'll hit you up tomorrow morning.
All right, man.
All right, man. I'll see you later.
We'll check you later. That was Killer Breeze, the consummate Oklahoma roughneck. I know y'all like it when I say that. But tonight was just a little bit of a, I guess, just a a goulash, a grab bag of topics. Started out with the NFL and panic mode over the Kid Rock stuff. This podcast or this live stream, we'll go to podcast after the show. If you want to donate to the show, as you can see down here, want to help keep the likes on, maybe get us around the YouTube censorship. We are monetized now. You can donate to the YouTube channel. When this thing goes to podcast, it'll be a bunny $sign at the bottom, and you can click on that and give. But if you want to get around the YouTube people and cut the middleman out, you can donate to me through Cash App. It's JPC316, money $sign JPC316 on Venmo, JPC316 as well. Like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. All that's absolutely free, by the way. And you can join the Outlaw Posse as well and get your badge like Fred Bagley and others in here that have had their badge. Denizen and who else is in here with a badge? Let's see. Had somebody else in here with a badge tonight. Can't find them now, but anyway. You get your badge, you'll get deputized, you get a random 4 horsemen shout out on the actual podcast as well as possibly the comment of the day. KMCA to all the other teams, class is now dismissed.